I guess the difference is sadness may last only a few hours, whereas depression or manic depression can last a long time. I had my first breakdown when I was 18 in Ottawa, and I was very involved in the Vietnam War as an activist against the war. And I was in university at Carleton and eventually decided after my first year to go to Toronto to stay with my dad's brothers and their family. I was interested in psychoanalysis, psychology, that's what I took at university. I wanted to know more about it, about what made me tick and other people, how they dealt with any mental health problems they may have had. I had a lot of things going on at that time, a lot in my head, including the anti-war movement. And I think all of that kind of came together. And just, at one point I saw a psychiatrist and he suggested I just move away from the family for a while and be on my own. And that's what I did. I ended up coming to Vancouver, and from here eventually I worked as a stockbroker. I did some acting on the side and was making pretty good money. And eventually I lost my investments and most of my money, and that was a part of it that led to my nervous breakdown here. So I was up to a point where I was hospitalized. I was at Riverview, and I didn't realize that I had the illness at that time. And I went through a series of real highs where I was very happy, joyful, trying to organize companies. It was kind of a manic period. I didn't know, to me I sensed I was fine, but then I would have very lows where I wouldn't go to work. I'd go all over the city picking up newspapers or garbage that I found, trying to clean up the city on my own. It's a disease which can be very, very crippling, but like any illness, once you're educated about the fact that it is an illness and there are medications out there that can help you live, quote, a normal life. I've been at periods off medication, but which I can cope with, but I do better on medication, so I want to be my best. I guess the difference is sadness may last only a few hours, whereas depression or manic depression can last a long time and really you can be very chaotic and get into lots of problems and difficulties, right? I'm not too open about my illness to a lot of people, but to some people I trust, I do, because there is stigma. Certainly there's stigma there, you know. I mean, if you're open about your mental illness and you want to go for a job, I've experienced this before. I've shared my mental illness and I didn't get the job. And there's still a lot of discrimination, misunderstanding from people about mental illness. The mentally ill suffer a lot. I like being busy, doing things. I keep active. That's what keeps me healthy. And my wonderful wife is a great help. And we see our daughter on a regular basis. We live a normal life, quite an involved life with people. We like people, getting involved with people. And in areas like mental health or volunteering, we continue to volunteer at Gordon House there. And this Barclay Manor is great. We know a lot of seniors here. They got a lot of great activities here. I don't really get anxious anymore because I'm just involved, and I just go from one thing to the other. There is a whole culture of mental illness, really, where it's almost, you'd call it symbiotic, where we're helped and the system is helped. As a whole, we're lucky to be right here in Vancouver. We're very fortunate because there's a lot of places in the world that they don't have the understanding of the supports that this particular society in Canada has. Yeah.